Hello, my name is James Swanson. I live in the Portland, Oregon area. In 1970, I was involved in a serious car accident. I shattered my patella in my left knee. The doctor at the time told me that I was going to experience arthritis later in my life, and true to what he said, it progressed as the years went by. The pain became greater and more intense till about 13 years ago. It became so unbearable, I sought out the advice of a specialist in Oregon who fitted me for a brace, which had some limited success, but not too much. The pain kept getting worse and worse. Up until about 3 years ago, it became almost unbearable. It made it very difficult for me to work. The x-rays that we had taken 13 years ago, before that point, showed bone on bone. At that point, it made audible noises and crunched and ground, and it was obvious that there was a real problem. It finally collapsed about 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, and I was no longer able to walk without the use of crutches. And I had to terminate my work at that point. That I faced at that point, after doing a small amount of replacement of a knee, because they called it a pre-existing condition, and there didn't seem to be any way around that. When I checked on the prices in the United States, I came up with prices in the neighborhood of, on the low end, $65,000, and on the upper end, as much as $80,000 and $90,000. Frankly, I didn't have that kind of money, and I certainly didn't want to pay that much for this. I have to walk, of course, and crutches for the rest of my life is not a viable choice. So at that point, I began doing some research on the internet, and that's when I first became introduced to a new idea called medical tourism, which I had never heard of before that. On doing a little bit more research, I found out that there were competent surgeons who could perform this procedure on my knee at a deeply discounted rate over what I'd have to pay in the United States. So I began doing research to see if I could find someone who was competent. The first doctor that I came across that began to fill my expectations as far as my research was concerned was a doctor named Venkatachalam in Chennai, India. The more I researched, the more I realized that his level of professionalism seemed to be just what I was looking for. I contacted Dr. Venkatachalam, and he promptly returned my call, and we discussed my case over the phone. I told him that part of the research that I had done convinced me that fairly new prosthesis put out by Smith Nephew called the oxinium knee, zirconium knee, the probability to last up to 30 years, and since revision surgery every 10 years didn't seem like a very good idea to me, I had decided that this was what I wanted. And to my delight, the doctor also shared my enthusiasm with this particular product and had had much experience with it. At this point, we began to make plans to fly to India and do this procedure. I arrived in India. I was met at the airport by professional people, taken to a comfortable room. We did a few more tests the next day, and the day after that, we did the surgery. And I've had absolutely no complications or problems at all from this. It's been professionally handled from one end to the other. The operating room was clean and very modern. nothing to worry about from one end to the other. As a matter of fact, I'll say this, that I don't believe I've ever seen anything that even comes close to the level of professionalism demonstrated. Surgeons, the hospital, and the technicians involved in my procedure. I would recommend Dr. Venkatachalam to do this process again, and hopefully I won't need another knee done, but if that happens, I wouldn't have it done in the United States. If it were free, I would come here and have it done, because I see such a level of professionalism. This is where I'd want to have it done. My wife was able to accompany me to India, and it worked out quite well. The hospital where we had the surgery done had an extra bed in the room, so she was able to stay right in the room and assist me while she was here. She had some long-needed medical procedures done herself that were quite reasonable, and by themselves more than paid for the trip. She had some dental surgery that needed to be done, and we found that the level of professionalism for her procedures were equal to what we had experienced with my knee replacement. Frankly, I know there's a lot of people in the U.S. who have the same situation that I do, where the insurance company just doesn't want to pay for it, or the copay is so high that it just isn't a viable solution. And certainly walking around on crutches for the rest of your life is just not something anyone wants to do. The insurance company isn't just my insurance company that won't do this. I've read about a lot of other people that are in this situation. And finally, you've got a situation where there's actually a way to get a quality knee replacement done for a fraction of what you have to pay in the U.S. I had to do this all over with. Again, I'd do it in a minute. It's not even a problem for me to think about it. I have a set of crutches here, which I arrived in Chennai with, and that's the only way I was able to get to the cab at the airport. And I'm going to give them to Dr. Venkatachalam, and he can give them to someone who might need them, but I won't be needing them in the future. My knee is just fine.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, enjoying life here by the swimming pool and all that?
This is really nice. I love this place.
Good.
It's a great place to recuperate.
Yes,
all ready to go.
Your knee is healed well, the swelling is all down, and you're good.
I'm expecting to turn.
You're not in any pain or anything?
No.
No.
I'm expecting to return back to work very soon.
All the best to you in your life.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.